Imagine this, a bustling diner on the edge of a dusty highway, where the air smells of greasy fries and fresh coffee, and a spoiled rich kid thinks he can treat people like dirt. But what if that one act of cruelty unleashes a chain of events that changes lives forever? Stick around, because this story of redemption, humility, and unexpected heroes will have you on the edge of your seat. If you love tales that hit you right in the feels and remind you of the power of kindness, hit that like button now and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Let's dive in. In the heart of a small town called Willow Creek, where the summers were long and the winters even longer, lived a young woman named Emily Harper. At 28, Emily had already seen more hardship than most people twice her age. She worked double shifts at the Rusty Spoon Diner, a rundown spot off Highway 10 that catered to truckers, locals, and the occasional lost tourist. Her days started at dawn, flipping pancakes and pouring endless cups of joe, all while balancing the weight of her world on her slender shoulders. Emily wasn't just a waitress. She was a single mom to a bright-eyed 6-year-old boy named Tommy who had her smile and his late father's curiosity. Tommy's dad, a mechanic named Jack, had died in a car accident 3 years earlier, leaving Emily to navigate grief, bills, and the relentless grind of survival alone. Emily's life was a delicate balance. Mornings were for getting Tommy ready for school, afternoons for her shift at the diner, and evenings for homework help and bedtime stories. She dreamed of better things, a nursing degree, a cozy home without leaky roofs, maybe even a vacation someday. But dreams felt distant when the rent was due and Tommy's asthma meds cost a fortune. Still, Emily wore a smile like armor, greeting every customer with warmth, even on her worst days. "Everyone's fighting their own battle," she'd say to her coworkers, quoting some old wisdom she'd picked up along the way. On the other side of town, in a sprawling mansion overlooking the valley, lived Alexander "Alex" Vanderbilt, a 17-year-old heir to a tech fortune. His father, Reginald Vanderbilt, was a Silicon Valley tycoon who'd relocated to Willow Creek for tax reasons, as he put it. Alex had everything money could buy: luxury cars, designer clothes, a private tutor, and a circle of friends who orbited him like planets around a sun. But beneath the gloss, Alex was lost. His mother had passed away when he was young, and his father buried his grief in board meetings and mergers, leaving Alex to be raised by nannies and indifference. Spoiled and entitled, Alex masked his loneliness with arrogance, bullying his way through high school and treating those beneath him with disdain. "The world owes me," he'd sneer, echoing his father's cutthroat philosophy. One sweltering Friday afternoon, fate, or perhaps karma, decided to intervene. Alex and his posse of rich kids pulled into the Rusty Spoon in a convoy of shiny sports cars, fresh from a joyride that had nearly caused an accident on the highway. They were loud, rowdy, demanding the best table despite the diner's no reservations policy. Emily, wiping sweat from her brow after a hectic lunch rush, approached them with her usual grace. "What can I get you folks?" she asked, notepad in hand. Alex, lounging in the booth like a king on his throne, scanned the menu with a smirk. "This place is a dump. Do you even have anything edible?" his friend snickered, egging him on. Emily kept her cool, suggesting the house special, a hearty burger with all the fixings, but Alex wasn't in the mood for politeness. When she accidentally spilled a drop of water while refilling glasses, her hands trembling from exhaustion, he exploded. "You idiot, watch what you're doing," he yelled, his face reddening. The diner fell silent. Emily apologized profusely, mopping up the spill, but Alex wasn't done. In a fit of rage, he stood up, leaned over, and spat right in her face. The glob landed on her cheek, dripping down like a tear she hadn't shed. Gasps echoed through the room. Emily stood frozen, humiliation burning her skin. She wanted to scream, to slap him, but thoughts of Tommy and her job held her back. "Please, sir, that's not necessary," she whispered, turning away to compose herself. Alex laughed, high-fiving his buddies. "That's what you get for being incompetent," he said, tossing a crumpled bill on the table as if it erased his cruelty. What Alex didn't know, what no one in his group noticed, was that the back corner of the diner was occupied by a group of about 50 bikers. They were members of the local Hells Angels chapter, in town for their annual charity ride to raise funds for orphan kids. These weren't the stereotypes from movies. They were veterans, mechanics, and family men with leather vests and hearts of gold hidden under tough exteriors. Leading them was Big Mike, a burly ex-Marine with a scar across his cheek from a long-ago bar fight. He'd seen enough injustice in his life to know when to step in. Big Mike had been watching the scene unfold, his coffee growing cold. The spit was the last straw. He stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, and the rest of the angels followed suit. The diner seemed to shrink as these giants in black leather approached Alex's table. "Boy," Big Mike growled, his voice like thunder, "you just made a big mistake." Alex's smirk faded. His friends shifted uncomfortably, suddenly very interested in their phones. "Who the hell are you?" Alex tried to sound tough, but his voice cracked. "We're the ones who don't tolerate punks like you disrespecting good people," Big Mike replied. He glanced at Emily, who was still wiping her face in the kitchen doorway, tears now mixing with the spit. "Apologize, now." Alex laughed nervously. "Or what, you gonna beat me up? My dad's lawyers will sue you into the ground." The angels formed a circle around the booth, their presence overwhelming. One of them, a wiry guy named Jax with tattoos covering his arms, leaned in. "We don't need violence, kid, but we'll make sure everyone knows what a coward you are. Social media's a powerful thing these days." Panic set in for Alex. He glanced outside, seeing the Harleys lined up like sentinels. These weren't people he could buy off or intimidate. For the first time, he felt small, exposed, but pride held him back. "Screw you all," he muttered, shoving past them toward the door. Big Mike grabbed his arm, not hard but firm. "Not so fast, you're gonna clean up your mess." He nodded to Emily. "Start by saying sorry like you mean it." Emily emerged from the kitchen, her boss hovering protectively. She didn't want trouble, but something in Big Mike's eyes gave her strength. "It's okay," she said softly. "Just leave, please." But the angels weren't having it. They insisted Alex stay. What followed was a tense standoff. Alex's friends slunk out, abandoning him. Alone, facing the bikers, Alex's facade cracked. He mumbled an apology, but Big Mike shook his head. "Louder and mean it." As the minutes ticked by, the diner cleared out except for the angels and staff. Emily sat at a nearby table watching. Finally, Alex broke. "I'm sorry," he said, voice trembling. "I was a jerk, I shouldn't have done that." It was a start, but the angels knew real change took more. Big Mike pulled up a chair. "Why'd you do it, kid? What's eating you?" Alex hesitated, then the dam burst. He talked about his absent father, his mother's death, the pressure to be perfect. "Everyone expects me to be like him, ruthless, but I hate it." Tears welled up, surprising even him. Emily listened, her anger softening. She'd lost Jack, raised Tommy alone, pain she understood. "Life's hard for everyone," she said gently, "but that doesn't give you the right to hurt others." The conversation stretched into the evening. The angels shared their stories, lost comrades in war, family struggles, the code of respect they lived by. Big Mike revealed he'd lost a daughter to illness, channeling his grief into helping kids like Tommy. They invited Alex to join their charity ride the next day, not as punishment, but as a chance to see the world differently. Reluctantly, Alex agreed. His father, when called, was furious at first, but Big Mike's calm explanation over the phone about teaching the boy responsibility swayed him. "Bring him back in one piece," Reginald grumbled, secretly relieved someone was stepping in where he couldn't. The next morning, Alex showed up at the Angels' clubhouse, dressed in ill-fitting leather borrowed from Jack's. He looked ridiculous, but no one laughed. The ride was grueling, 200 miles through winding roads, stopping at orphanages and hospitals to deliver toys and donations. Alex helped unload boxes, talked to kids who'd lost parents like he had. One boy, about Tommy's age, hugged him after receiving a new bike. "Thanks, mister," the kid said. Alex's heart twisted. He'd never felt useful before. Back in Willow Creek, Emily faced her own challenges. That night after the incident, Tommy had an asthma attack triggered by stress she'd brought home. Rushing him to the ER, she worried about the bill. "Mommy, are you okay?" Tommy asked from his hospital bed. Emily forced a smile. "Always, buddy." Word of the diner drama spread. Locals rallied, starting a GoFundMe for Emily's nursing school. But the real shift came when Alex returned from the ride, changed. He sought her out at the diner. "I want to make this right," he said. No arrogance, just sincerity. Over the following weeks, Alex volunteered at the diner, bussing tables and washing dishes. He befriended Tommy, teaching him card tricks and sharing stories of his own childhood loneliness. Emily was wary at first, but saw the boy's genuine remorse. Challenges arose. Alex's old friends mocked him. His father questioned his softening. But the angels mentored him, showing toughness came from within, not wallets. One key hurdle was a confrontation with Reginald. Alex stood up to his dad during a heated dinner. "You taught me to win at all costs, but that's not living. I spat on that woman because I was angry like you are." Reginald, stunned, opened up about his own regrets, promising to be more present. Their relationship began to heal. For Emily, the emotional peak came when Alex, using his allowance, covered Tommy's medical bills anonymously. She discovered it was him and confronted him tearfully. "Why? Because you showed me kindness when I didn't deserve it," he replied. As summer faded, Alex organized a fundraiser with the angels, raising enough for Emily's tuition. She enrolled in night classes, dreaming bigger. Tommy thrived, inspired by his new big brother Alex. Months later, at the diner's anniversary party, Emily and Alex shared a quiet moment. "You didn't just apologize," she said. "You changed." Alex smiled. "Thanks to you and those angels, they weren't just watching, they were waiting to teach." The story of that day became legend in Willow Creek, a reminder that one act of cruelty can spark a wave of goodness. Emily graduated nursing school, becoming a pediatric nurse, helping kids like Tommy. Alex went to college, majoring in social work, founding a youth mentorship program with the Angels. Reginald even sponsored their events, finding purpose in giving back. In the end, it's not about the spit or the watchers, it's about choosing empathy over ego, forgiveness over fury. Life throws curveballs, but with courage and community we rise. If this story touched you, remember, kindness is contagious. Hit that like button if it moved you and subscribe for more tales of real-life heroes. Who knows, your next act of kindness might change everything. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one. Word count, approximately 1,850. Extended for engagement while fitting a narrative pace suitable for a 10-15-minute YouTube video, as 400 minutes seems like a typo. Aimed for depth without excess.